Hi and welcome to today's video where I'm going to teach you on how to register a domain .co.za for 50 Rand, which is a lot cheaper than anybody else that's offering it and you're doing it yourself. It requires a little bit of work and a little bit of effort on your side, but a little bit of work never killed anyone. So, also another secret I should let you in, you do not have to pay immediately for your domain. You can get it, host it, put it onto your server, and if it doesn't take off, don't really use this as this method, but if it doesn't really take off, why then pay the money? Let them just take the domain away from you. But it's only 50 Rand, it's not the end of the world, so that's what it's going to cost you. Alright, I want you to go to the address of .co.za in your address bar and you enter, and you'll come to the exact same website that you're seeing now on the screen. Okay, this is where everybody that has a .co.za registration comes to and registers. Okay, what you need to do first of all to see if your domain is available, you click on who is, right, and you type in there cyclingguru.co.za, and then you enter, and the next thing you notice is that the query has been generated and there is no matches, meaning that there is nobody having that or has that website cyclingguru.co.za, so it's okay to register. Right, then you click backwards here, and then what you need to do is you'll see here as an application form. Okay, click on the application form, takes you now to a new web page, and it looks something similar to this. It's a plain text, all these lines forming this little block and giving you what it is. You can all read through that and tell you how it works and all that nonsense. But then you'll see that it starts starting from number 1, domain name and action, registrant and billing. And it goes 3, CNAME, but this section is no longer in use. I'll give you an explanation on all these sections. 4 is then administrative contact, technical contact number 5, name servers at number 6, and 7 and 8 is taken away, and then we've got 9. Please describe your organization if you want to really describe your organization. Okay, and then 9, your domicile, it executes, so that is your your street address where anything needs to be sent to you. That's where it needs to be sent to you. Okay, so now we go back up, and the trick is to actually, you need to email them this, okay, off your email address. So what you need to do is you need to right click, select all, right click, copy. Then you open up your Microsoft. I'm using Microsoft Outlook. You could probably use something else or whatever that is that you're using, but I'm using Outlook, and I'm just going to explain on Outlook. Okay, once you get into Outlook, you're going to need to make sure of 2 things. Okay, first thing is you must make sure that it's a plain text email. Okay, it cannot be on HTML and cannot be on rich text. It needs to be a plain text email. That's how they read it. Secondly, you need to make sure that you've got coza-admin at .co.za into your toolbar. Okay, and thirdly, actually, you should also make sure that the whole form looks exactly what it did, like on that page where you needed, where you downloaded it. Okay, it needs to look exactly the same. There cannot be a difference, because then there's issues. That's how it works. Okay, and even tells you here, form in plain ASCII text, so just note that. Okay, and you can't register more than 1 domain per email, so just remember that this is all done per email, or per email, and is only done per 1 application. So do not go and decide to actually put up there 5 domains. It won't work. Okay, so now let's fill in the form, or see how you need to fill in the form so you can actually understand it. Okay, in the section 1A, you're going to put in the the domain that you're wanting to get. So we saw that cyclingguru.co.za is available. That's the one I want. So you put that in there without the www. Then you say what action you want to do it. It's a new domain. You put an N. And then you move down. Then you put in your domain registrant and you fill in there on the side your name, your postal address, and then obviously your registrant address or your physical street address. Okay. You say you want to be invoiced, person or a organization or whoever it is that you want to invoice, them to invoice, and you say your name if you're doing it under your personal name. Then you go to send the accounts to or invoices to there. That's the address there. And then you put in your postal address again, so they can make sure that if they post off an invoice, who do they need to post it off and where, and that's it there. Then you need to type in your name, your telephone number there. Please put it in this format, +27 whatever. Okay, and your fax number, and then your registered email again. If you've got a VAT number, type it in. If not, leave it blank. Okay, section 3 has been left out, so you can leave that all out. Then you come into section 4, administrative contact. Look, you cannot leave this blank. You need to have it there. So what I suggest is, if you're doing it yourself, there it is. Fill in your name, who you are, your postal address again, telephone numbers, and your contact email, and technical contact. If you do not have a technician or a person that's technically minded and you doing it, I suggest you put down your name as well. Okay, that's it. Fill it in there, and then what you need to do is then name servers for this domain. Okay, this is in actual fact to enable you to actually host it on your web server that you've chose, whether it be here in South Africa or in the States or wherever it is that you've chosen, to look at where it's actually hosted. It's kind of it sounds very confusing, but that's how it works. It's registered here in South Africa under the .co.za, but your name server points to it. So if anybody searches the internet for your specific web address, cyclingguru.co.za, it'll go and look for it all over the web where it is registered and pop up. A little bit of magic, what. Okay, so let's just move down here. In order to get this name server, you're going to have to ask your web hosting company for their name servers, okay? And they need to also give you then the IP addresses for it, and you're going to then type it in something similar to this. Okay, but before you actually submit this email, you do need to do the following and make sure you have the following done. You need to go to your domain control panel on your web hosting account and add domain. And once you've added the domain as well with cyclingguru.co.za, it will then create a space on your website, making the name server available already. So please make sure that you've added it on first on your C panel on your web hosting account before sending off this email. Once you've filled in all that detail, you go back down now to 9 and you just give it information on what your website's about. Okay, then you're basically done. Then you click send, and within a couple of minutes or so they send back an email stating if it's correct or incorrect. If it's correct, it registers the domain, and then it takes 24 to 72 hours to propagate through the internet. Propagate means just a big fancy word to say to get through all the servers all over the world. And once that's done, you can basically say your website is now active and live on the website, on the internet. It's a rule of thumb, 24 to 72 hours. It can sometimes take an hour and can sometimes take 72 hours. So there is nothing that's guaranteed, just to be put your mind at ease. Okay. Until our next video, please leave a name and comments there in the bottom of our website, and make sure that we're answering your questions out there. Thanks, Ciao.